Okay. Right, that might help. Done everything else past, switch the mic on, so hopefully you'll be able to hear now. So hopefully that's a little bit clearer. Okay, great. There you are. Yeah, I never switched the mic on. It's all right. It's absolutely baking here in the UK at the moment. Well, I say baking. It's 25 degrees centigrade, but it's absolutely still outside, and it's been naff. We had a really good month leading up to sort of June, just beginning of July, and then July, it's been absolute crap. It's not been above 25 degrees. So I went out and did the lawns. I've been running around this morning trying to do something. Okay, so let's see how we get on today. So where are we now? Market opens in about 3 minutes. So we've had a little bit of sideways stuff. We've had a leg break and a leg break, leg break, leg. So it's going a bit sideways now, but got to say market conditions now. I will say when I finished trading, what day is it today? It's Thursday. On Tuesday, I carried on trading. Now I've got 4 PAs now. I had 5. Now, when I get a new PA, for some reason, I still have that desire to try and take a bit of a risk and go for, double and triple my contracts to try and get my account a little bit of a boost, and it completely backfired. I went long and it just completely turned down, and I ended up blowing an account, which I'm really pissed off about. These other accounts, the other 4 accounts, are a couple of $100 under $2,000, so I'm extra protective of those. But when I seem to get a new account, and I've done it the last 3 times, I seem to have this desire to jump in and just try and boost it a little bit. But I just, do you know what? I did it a couple of days ago, and I just felt sick all evening. And I just, do you know what? I've so had it up to here of that horrible feeling you get when you do something stupid and you blow an account. It's so frustrating. Let me just adjust something here. Why is that not? Hold on a second. Right, for some reason, something's out of shape here. Come on, get a grip, Nancy boy. Okay, I'll sort my life out in a minute. Okay, that's sorted. I don't know why stuff's just gone out of shape all of a sudden, but I'm just so angry with myself. But yeah, I've got 4 PAs now. They're up to a reasonable level at the moment. They're at 1 more trade and they'll be at 2,000 each. And out of 2 of them, I've already had $1,000 each. So they're up to a level now where I'm protective over them. But the last 3 PAs I've got, so I've added to the 4, I've seemed to take stupid risks just to try and give them a bit of a boost. I think I've just been getting a bit greedy, and instead of taking my time and trusting the process, I'm just trying to, just trying to get a bit lucky. But it's just, I don't know how many times I've said it to people, it just does not work. So I just felt really sick for the rest of the evening. So from now on, I've had enough. I'm just, I usually trade my evaluations out of hours as well, and I go a bit silly with those because they're cheap, but I keep blowing them. Can't tell you how many I've blown this last week, at least a dozen. When they've been cheap. Okay, market's officially open. But yeah, I'm not doing it now. I'm just sticking to my normal 3 hours, and I'm trading everything at the same time. I've had enough of just messing around. That just does not work. A lot of you guys have probably been in the same scenario. Okay, so let's see what happens today. So we've got a leg and a leg. In fact, I'm just going to remove that at the moment so we get some more continuation. Rodian, how you doing, buddy? Exponential, I'm here. Happy CPI day. It's all done and dusted, isn't it? Yeah. bit of a spike. Well, a bit of a positive spike. It's weird, isn't it? No matter how positive the news is, we always seem to get a spike in the opposite direction. So it doesn't matter whether you're going long or short here. It sort of goes up and down, and it just takes you out. So it's frustrating. Okay, there does seem to be some support around about there. Let's have a look. Yeah, you can see it there. You can see it there. Let's move that up a bit. Let me think. Where's the best place to put that? Just put it there for now. Yeah, touches there, more or less there, and you can see it there a bit. I start putting these in now and again because I think sometimes if you are going to go short or long into them, it might make you think twice. So okay, so that looks like a leg, 2 legs of correction, and I'd say there's probably going to be another leg up there. So let's just put that there. We may get out of this. Range now. It's possible. It does look like a leg. This 2-legged correction. Hey JP, how you doing, bud? So yeah, push up, 2 legs, and then another leg. Does look like the type of thing that'll continue up. So my prediction is, let's just put it like that for now. My prediction is we're going to push up a little bit. Let's put that like that for now. ATR is quite high at the moment, so the average bar with a tick above, tick below is going to be R9 3.25 points. So just got to make sure we pick our hey EST, how you doing? Pick our trades carefully.
Order
okay,
submitted.
We've got a leg up, 2 legs of correction. I'm expecting another leg up. If we can get a higher low here, that might interest me in going long. Whether it will give us a higher low or not, I don't know. Might not. Come on, give us an entry.
Order cancelled.
Oh, that's a shame. I had my suspicions it was going to do that. I just hope we get a little bit of a pullback here and a higher low. So leg up, 2 legs of correction. We may, I've got a feeling we may get up above here now. We'll see. That's a possibility. Another possibility. We'll see. Okay, so it looks like there's 2 smaller legs here as well. Which will take us to the top. I was hoping we get a little bit of a pullback here. did it go yesterday? Did you manage to get a trade in? No, I never traded. I watched a little bit on my phone. I kept an eye on it, but I didn't. We had a guy come out and redo the cable. We've got a cable coming from a post outside. Replaced a piece of cable from that to the inlet of the house. But other people have been getting problems, so I'm hoping the problem's sorted out. So the speed was a bit low last night, but it wasn't completely dropping off. But I don't know. It was just it seems to be better in the day, but I don't know why it's not at night. Okay, so it's way too close to that. I do expect this to get up there because it looks like a leg up, 2 legs of correction and another leg up, but it might not. So I'm not confident enough to take a trade there, but I do think it's likely that it's going to push out. We'll have to see. Bearing in mind we are coming to these tops here. Okay, so my suspicions were right. Now let's see if it carries on up to here or it comes back in. I think it's likely to carry on up. As I say, it does look like a leg, 2 legs of correction and another leg up. Let's see what happens here. See if we get a fell breakout. That's frustrating. I thought we were going to get a higher low here, and I was looking around here for a trade, which is a bit unfortunate. Hey Indy, how you doing, pal? Another day in the beautiful market. Yeah, it has been frustrating lately, isn't it? It's brutal. If you take anything bar a really good setup, it just literally walks all over you. Okay, so it's broken above this, the overnight high, so this is our new high. I think that bar, personally, might get stopped out, because I think that's a trap. No, don't take my word for it. The only reason I'm thinking that way is because this looks like a leg, so if it breaks above there, my suspicions were right. But it's made 3 attempts, so it may not. But I think it's going to, I have a slight feeling it's going to push up above here. Okay, yeah, I'd say it's almost definitely going to stop that one out, and that one obviously at the same time, we'll see. Probably adjust this a fraction. Okay, so if you took that one, you still survived, but I don't know. I think it's going to go up personally. Bit sideways to here and then up again. So that's the one for me. There we go. Sideways until we hit that, what's it, and then a push up. So if you did take that one, trigger just stopped you out. So, ooh, that wasn't expected. Now that looks kind of bearish. Maybe another trap. It's hard to say, that is, because I do see it getting up here, but I might be wrong. Let's have a look. It is very bearish, that. So maybe there's a bit of a spike in a channel here. Let's have a look. Let's put it there where that bar is, and let's put that there. And let's bring that in. Okay, that kind of fits real nice, actually. Maybe as we get a higher low up here, but I am expecting it to push higher just because of this leg with a 2-legged correction. You're in long, are you? Yeah. Long's my plan at the moment. You have got to be a little careful up here, but what you'll notice is there's a little bit of sideways in there, and that looks like a bit of a failed. I don't know what you drew it like a breakout. The trouble is, it's not a brilliant bar there. If that had dropped below and gone a bit bullish, then that may have interested me. Channel fit starting with a few longs earlier. See, at the moment I've gone from a spike, so we started here, touched here, confirmed here, and not only that, it fits really nice at the side. Unfortunately, just no setup there. Interesting. Interesting. Hopefully we may get a bit of a another bit of a drop and then a push. But I think if it gets above there, I'd say there'll be quite a few stops above there, I would have thought. So leg down, I thought we may get a push down. It would be nice. In fact, no. Oh. That's just thrown my plans a bit. So hard to say. If you don't get that right, you can completely misjudge this, so you got to be careful. Okay, there is a second entry long there, but it could possibly be a trap here because I don't like the way I've just had to adjust it. Let's see if we can get a higher low. I'm not going to just jump in there though because that may be a trap. I've just had to adjust that to make it fit, and I don't like doing that. It was fitting really nice, so this is just saying a little bit of caution, sorry. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. I kind of like that, I did. Okay, try go once, try go twice. Possible failed second entry long. Hopefully, we may get a higher low here. It's hard to say. Got to be so careful. Okay, so try go on, try twice. There's a failure there. Now let's see what happens. See if that triggers and pushes up. I don't know. I still don't think that it's a leg and a leg. I still don't think we finished with the up personally. But I might be wrong. I was kind of hoping that failure would trigger. Okay, let's see if there's anything that would fit that in there. Okay, as I suspected, unfortunately, there's no entry. Whether that's right or not, it might be. It's hard to say. If we go from these bottoms here, From there to there to there to there. Maybe that'll be. In fact, I suppose it's a 2-tier channel, actually, in all fairness. Right, that's just confused me then. So I'm just going to bring that in to there for now. We know where it's coming from. Let's just start here. I sort of predicted we'd get up there, but unfortunately, there's just no entry. I was kind of hoping that might trigger that little failed second entry long there, but oh dear, that's my channel now. Drag the upper, the top to the first measured move leg. The trouble is, if you drag it to there, it just looks. I'd rather keep it there, and if we do push a bit, because that just looks a bit too. I don't know. It's a bit too confusing in a sense. I'd rather just keep it there, with the understanding that there is a possibility we could work higher. That's such a shame, really. Touched here, touched a couple of times here. Fits nice. Kind of fits nice there. We've had that, obviously, that extra bit, so that may come into play later on if we get a bit further up, but that's a shame, really. I was hoping we may get a higher low there, which should, you know, I'm happy to take a trade around here. I would have been regardless of that. It is frustrating when you don't get an entry, but you can clearly see what's sort of going to happen. But the trouble is, if you take it without an entry, it's got a really bad habit of punishing you for it. I mean, it depends how confident you are. I mean, you could have maybe took something, I don't know. You can't really class it as a high low because it didn't break. But it's after we push, these two sort of really confirm it. I don't know. You may have been risky and maybe took something like that. Once it starts to go, I don't know. You just can't do it though. So let me just make sure I've got that measured leg in the right place. There and there. And that one is right on that line. So we're a few ticks shy, and I'd expect to hit that. These are usually very accurate. Been waiting for this trade all week. In fact, I was watching the market. I was watching someone else stream yesterday, and there was a beautiful setup. I got to say, an absolute corker. I so wished I'd have seen it. Let me see if I can find it. I still expect it to push up a little bit and touch that measured move, because it's usually really accurate. And that's in chat on Apex evals. Are you able to pass them in one day, or does it need to be? You can pass it in a day, but what you have to do is, if let's say for instance you got it to 3,100, you can take a 1 tick micro for the remainder of the 6 days. You're allowed to do that on an evaluation, but you can't do it on a PA. So you can't get $3,000 in one day or $1,000 in one day and then trade it on a micro then. But on an evaluation, you can pass it in a day. It's a lot trickier to pass it in a day. I've blown a lot trying to pass them in a day. But you can do it. I'm trading 8 contracts at the moment. That enables me to have 2 losses in a row without blowing the account. I don't often have 2 in a row, but the good thing about 8 is 4 sort of winning trades, and that will get me a past account. But I frustratingly a couple of days ago lost another PA trying to be too smart and trying to rush instead of just taking me time. Let's just find this trade from yesterday. Oh, that was it there. Yeah, that was the one there. Let me just bring it there. That one I was looking at there. That was a real cracker, that was. Touched, beautifully confirmed there. We'd had a little micro break and a new low. And I'd have 100% took that and didn't look at it. See what I mean about the really good trades? They just go. But we touched it, and that confirmed it. And you can see by, the tops of that it's clearly, it confirms. And not only that, we got a 1 leg back and a 2 leg back on a slightly bigger picture. And then we got a little micro break and a new low. And I'd have 100% taken that. And look at that. Look at it. Didn't it go? So 6 days minimum time-wise. Yeah, you've got to trade. You've got to have a trade for 7 days. And on the 8th day, you'll get a message. So if you passed it all today, you'd have to, take 1 micro per day for another 6 days, and then you'd pass it. But keep it in mind, don't just get to 3,000 if you've got it. You've got to get a little over, because if you take 1 micro with fees, you could be looking at a loss of about $3 a day. So if you lose a trade for 3 days, remember that's another $20. So you've got to keep that in mind. I've done that before. I've traded for the last day and I've ended up being about 86 cents short. So just keep that in mind. Right, okay, we're going a bit sideways here. I still expect to hit that. We're a couple of ticks off, and they're usually extremely accurate. And there is a lot of short liquidity there right at that measured leg. So I not that I want to get into a trade this close to the top, but just out of curiosity and just because these are usually that accurate, I'd like to see that hit. And not only that, we got yesterday's high up there. So I think there's another possibility we may get up there, but let's have a look. But you've got to be careful because there is a lot of congestion there, and that could just mean a lot of things. It might not get there, but these are usually that accurate. But be careful going long here because it could just decide to market could shit on you. Just pull this over. I'm just going to bring it to there so it gives us a bit clear. But these are so accurate. These are these measured legs. I've done it as accurate as I can. In fact, that probably needs to go up just a fraction there. But we're probably about 3-4 ticks short there, somewhere around about there. But maybe we may get a bigger channel. Now look at that. So if you'd have taken that, you'd have got a couple of points comfortably. It's not something I want to take though, although it is at the here. My concern is it's congested and it's very close to the top, so I'd rather get in and have enough space. Room to maneuver. You see how accurate these things are. If you think there's any sort of, look at that. I think the markets are random, they're far from it. Okay, that hit that measured move beautifully. And I bet if I can adjust this, I bet that will fit perfectly. Let me just see exactly where this is. Still off it a fraction, but there we go. But yeah, perfect. So even as close as we are, it's still pushed that a little bit higher. Okay, so we've got a leg, bit of a pullback, maybe another leg. So it may push up a little bit more. We may have a day. You never know. It'd be nice to get a decent day's trading where we get just a nice steady. So we touched. No argument there. In fact, we could probably Let's put that like that. So I'm leaving this line here because it fits with the width of the channel nice. Now, if this does manage to shoot up and then come back, then I may adjust this. But for me, I'm just not a fan of something like that, really. It just looks a bit too big at the moment. That things are fitting nice, or pretty nice. Okay, a little bit of sideways there, but look how that's reacting to that measured move. Is that trading days only, weekends included? Trading days, so Monday to Friday. So Monday to Friday, you would have to trade. If you passed on to Monday, you would have to trade Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Monday, Tuesday. So that would be 7 actual trading days. But what I do on here is, if I pass one, I have a micro down here. It says 2-tick micro, but I change it to a tick. So, and to be honest with you, I buy it or sell it. Doesn't make no difference. It doesn't matter if I win it or lose it. But with fees, if it's a loss, it's about $3. If it's a win, it's $1 or something. But if if you're $100 over, it doesn't matter whether you win or lose on those micros. It's just literally just to play out that particular day, so it goes down as a trade. To be honest with you, I've been blowing a lot lately. I will say now it's a lot harder to pass by going for 10 contracts because the market has got a way of punishing you. It sucks you in, spits you out. Now, just trading it, I trade on 10 contracts. So if it looks like it's doing something, I won't necessarily wait for a setup. If I think it's going, I'll buy. And what I will say, the way the market conditions are at the moment, you've got to wait for a setup or the market can punish you. And for me, trading 10 contracts is just hard at the moment. And I've blown a lot of, I think I've blown a dozen over this last week since we had the offer, just trying to be smart and trying to pass them. But I'm trading 2 here for 8 contracts. That allows me 2 losing trades in a row, which I don't often have, to be honest with you. And hopefully 4 winning trades will pass me over the line. But I've got 4 PAs just under $2,000. 2 of them were a little bit higher than that, but I withdrew $1,000 from each of them. So we could. Trouble is, when you see these big long channels playing out, you think, oh yeah, look at it, it's a big long channel, I might start getting into it now. And usually when you're thinking about that, it's time to comes to an end and maybe has a break. So really it's trying to identify what's going on and get in early. So we had that leg up, 2 legs of correction. Really somewhere here or here would have been the place to get in, really. But obviously it takes a lot of nerve to have the confidence to see what's going on. And for me, there was a leg with a 2-leg correction. I fully expected another leg. Now, saying it's a range is one thing, but it's only hit this top of this area once. So there was nothing else confirmed. So I had no, I wasn't concerned that we weren't going to be able to push out the top. But unfortunately, if it had given us a higher low, I'd have had a go at that. Because I'm pretty confident in these. But you can see how that reacted to that measured move. They're so accurate, they really are. And if you know what you're doing and you can identify what's going on and you can get in early enough, you can ride them up right close to them or even right to them. Strong trend, doges, etc. I'm just chicken to jump in. Yeah, you and me both, mate. If you're on PAs and you're relatively new, and when I say relatively new, maybe under a few years and still making a bit of money, still blowing the odd account, yeah, it does. It can be a bit scary getting in. I'm feeling, on my PA accounts, I get nervous when I take a trade. When I first got the PA account, not so nervous. Like I say, I blew on the other day, I take stupid risks. But they're near $2,000 now, so I go into protection mode, which is a good thing. I've got no desire at all to try and push the limits on those. Incidentally, guys, that 90% off finishes at midnight midnight Eastern Standard Time tonight, so last day. Now my code's down there. For some reason you have to put in UKFT 80, but you do get the 90% off. So that finishes midnight tonight. But I don't think it'd be long before we go back to the 80% in my opinion. But surprisingly enough, 90% and 80% doesn't sound like a lot of difference, but it's actually half the price. So if you use my code, you've got to put in the UKFT 80, but it does, just check, it does give you the 90% off. I think they're about $16. So if you do take it, it is appreciated. Okay, so we are getting a nice little channel here. Now, the good thing is that ATR's come down. It was around about 3. I kind of like, because I usually go for 2.25 points. I kind of like it around the 175 because a tick above and below is around about a 2.25 point risk. So that's around about 1-to-1 for me. So that's, I use your code. Thank you. I appreciate that, NC. Rhodian, same. I blew up a few days ago. Trying to pass him one day. Yeah, you, me, both, mate. As I say, over the last week, I've blown a dozen. Because the $16, that's about £13 UK money. That's about the price of 2.5 pints of beer. The trouble is, when it's so cheap, you take stupid risks. And Apex know that. That's why they give us these deals, because believe it or not, they make more money out of these deals. And I know that because I'm an affiliate. When the price is 50% off, I may sell 1 or 2 a day. When the price is 80% off or 90% off, I'd probably say 10 times that. So, you know, you do the maths. And they know this, which is why we always get these 80 and 90% off. The 90% off we're getting more and more often, but I would expect to probably go to a 50% off, and then off an evaluation, but then 50% off resets. I would expect to do that for up to a week, and then I would expect another 80% to come in. But for me now, what I'm going to do is just whenever we get these 90% offs and 80% offs, I'm just going to, it's probably 90 actually, I'm just going to add a couple at a time. But yeah, Rodian, yeah. You're not on your own there, bud. Sometimes, you know, I was doing it the other night. I couldn't sleep, so I was up at like 2 o'clock in the morning. Just trying to get lucky, and you lose one and you lose another, and you start to feel sick after a while. But it's just how human beings react, isn't it, with this type of thing? But I am pleased the way I'm protecting my PAs that have got something in now. So that's good. Lance, you have used other prop firms, so can you compare them to Apex? Absolutely not. You can't beat Apex, and you know, and on my heart, I know I have a code. I've also got codes for other prop firms, but you don't see them advertising here. Why? Because as far as I'm concerned, nothing can beat Apex. I'm not going to make money out of people because they're going to go to other people. You know, the only reason I have my code on there is because, one, it doesn't cost you guys nothing, but I won't advertise something I don't believe in. So if I go into my, what's it here? Let me have a look. I delete a lot of them anyway, but you'll usually see, no, I haven't at the moment. You'll usually see stuff in here for Lilu and a bunch of others. I tend to delete a lot of them because I have that much bloody. Yeah, I can't see it at the moment, but I've got affiliate codes for all of them. Certainly half a dozen of them, but I don't put them on here. I don't advertise them on here because as far as I'm concerned, God, that's so tempting. God, that's so tempting. Like, it's kind of bullish, but I'm kind of glad that's dropped below, so it's going to wait for a higher low now, but cancel and buy new evals. Just got to be a bit careful here. I don't like what that's doing there. We're on that line now. At some point, it'll break Just hope you're not on the receiving end of it. Okay, so if we can get bullish there, maybe look for a higher low. But it's coming to about the same sort of place. It may be coming away. We started that line. We've come a bit further. So this may be an area where it traps a few and has a break. I hope it doesn't, but I've got a feeling it's going to break here. Hopefully that pushes up nice and bullish and then we get a higher low, but I have a bad feeling here. Okay, so that is a second entry long there. It's just something about this I don't like. Now, it might, you know, it's very bullish and it engulfs that, but there's just something about it I don't like. Okay, interesting. I had a feeling we were going to get a break because if you look here, that's sort of close to here, so is that. This is a little bit further away and this is a bit further away still, so it's losing a little bit of momentum. Now, there's no reason why it can't keep going up, but if it's going to continue up, usually you'll get a break and then it'll continue up, maybe at a less steeper angle or maybe a wider channel. But it's just losing a bit of momentum here. How long have we had this? 90%. It'll be a week today. I think it's a week. But the 90% off is ridiculously cheap. The difference between 90 and 80% off, you only think it's 10%. If you have a quick think about it, how much cheaper is the 90% than 80%? 10% in it. Well, that's what it sounds like, but it's not. It's actually double the price. So if you do a 90% off, it's $16. If you do the 80% off, it's $33. So it's double the price. It makes a difference. We're in uncharted waters now. Yeah, we are. So we haven't been back up here for maybe... okay, so we're up day before yesterday. We're above that. What day was that? 4th of August, 5th of August, somewhere around there. So let's see if we do continue on up. So we've had a break, looking for a new high. Same again, no real entry. And that seems to be the same lately. I don't know why. Yeah, it should be. I don't know why they don't. And I've said this before, I think they'll do the 80% off permanently. I don't know why there's less setups now. Yes, there's less volume, but why less setups? Not much less volume. It's as if they've adjusted the algorithms to literally filter out anything good. That might seem a bit paranoid, but... okay, so we got a leg and a leg. I'd have preferred that drop below there. Okay, so that might trigger that short in. So if we can get a higher low here, that might be worth. We've had a break out of it and a higher low. Leg up, break, leg up.
Order submitted.
I'm going to take that. It's quite a small bar, I think. We've had a break. We've had a push up. That's a higher low. I thought we might trigger some shorts there and push up. That surprised me.
Order cancelled.
Okay, so yeah, that's a shame because that was quite a nice small bar. What was that? 1.25. Well, that would have been nice. I'd have dropped it there, so that would have been a total of 1.5 risk. Okay, maybe we get a couple of legs here. We'll see. The algo's changed, but certainly max charts are looking uglier. Yeah. I mean, you'll still usually get at least one good setup a day. You just got to hope you're at your computer when you get it. But it is so many times going back 12 months ago, there'd be setups. You know, second entries and failures, and you know, we'd have a break and make a nice clear high. Okay, so this is a break. It also looks like a couple of legs. So what I would like to see now, and what I think we may see, so mark my words, is a leg and another leg, which may turn into something larger. But to me, that's a leg up with 2 points of correction, so 2 legs of correction. So, and that's played out right to the nearest tick. So let's just bring it in. Hopefully we can push up and give us a higher low and then push higher. Leg and a leg, followed by a bullish bar. I get per day. What's that? I get per day for past 3 weeks. Not sure what you mean there, bud. You might need to. Okay, leg and a leg. Nice big bullish bar. Very tempting there, but it's bloody big, so I don't really want to get involved in that. 6.5, 7.5, 8.5, 9 3/4. It's 3.5 points. Tick below, tick below. It's 4 points more than I wanted. I'm not prepared to risk 4 points. Oh, one winning trade, yeah. Yeah, I think I had. I can't remember what I had last week. I think I had 5 trades with a loss last week, I think. Okay, so leg. Okay, there's a higher low there, but I don't know. What's concerning me is this. It is 2 legs, but it's just, I don't know, something I'm just not comfortable with here. I think after a while you get used to just looking at a trade and thinking yes or no. Maybe this is going to be a leg and a leg and then a push up, I don't know. Or it might just smash up there actually. So that's tempting. The trouble is I've gone long gear before and it's gone up and then come down and had a break out of this little channel down, so I'm not getting involved here at the moment. As much as I think it's likely to go up, we're making lower lows at the moment, so I don't want to go against the grain there. EMA's flat with a slight hint of downwards. Usually after a break we'll make a new high, and it's a perfect measured leg, so it could be a leg and another leg. We could move up, but I've got into trades like this before. It's pushed up and I've took a trade here and it's triggered me and come down, and what's happened, we've had a breakout of this smaller range and we've come back into it, so I've got trapped. So now I'm extra cautious of this. If we have a break which looks like a channel, I'm leaving it alone. So it's just risky. Market's got an habit of playing with you. Although it does look like we're pushing up, but I'm not trusting this. So if you'd have taken that higher low there, leg down, nice big bullish bar, push up, come back higher low. Unfortunately, it maze flat. It's triggered you, and I'm pretty sure that's going to come down and stop that out. Watch that. There we go. So if you'd have got rid of that, you might have done this, and I've done it before. You've gone, okay, leg down, leg down. Look at that. Beautiful. Okay, so we've got a nice big channel up, which is clear. 2 legs down, nice big bullish bar. Oh, yeah. Do I take that one? Not sure. Let's wait for the higher low. There we go. Triggers you. Stops you out. And why? Could be a number of reasons, but this is part of it. 4 touches of a channel which is working down. I'm not saying we're going to not push higher, but I've got into trades like this before. Now, if it pushes higher here, I've got into trades there thinking, hey, here we go. Now it's pushing up. And what happens? It triggers you and comes down. And the answer to the question is we've got a downtrend with a break and a new low. So I'm always extra careful. And I'm talking about this because I tend to talk out aloud, and I want people to understand how I'm thinking, how my brain's thinking when I'm looking at this. I'm just talking about what I'm seeing. So it looks like we're going to have a little bit of a break here, and that could be a break of this little down channel, and it may confuse traders to get in long. So good night, all bedtime over here. Yeah, you too, Rodian. Yeah, I keep forgetting you're the other side of the world, aren't you? Okay, so possible failure there. Still don't want to get in here because I think there's going to be lots of traps here. So kind of nice looking channel there. Couple of legs. So far it's held. It may push up, but these are the types that are triggered, that are encourage you to go in long, and it triggers you and comes down. But has anybody seen that on Bookmap? Seen these little things? Oh, you missed it. There's a boat and a car keeps flying past the bottom for some reason. Okay, so there's the failure. Did it work, or is it going to trap you? It worked for 2 points, I think, near enough. Yeah, there it goes again. Yeah, so it could be a leg with a break and a leg, and then another push up. It's hard to say at the moment. Be interesting to see what Mac makes of this. He won't have posted his chart at the moment, so he'll be looking at this, and it'll be interesting to see what exactly. In fact, that can come over a bit. If what he's done here actually. Okay, it's still working here. So let me just see if there's any type of a break that I could see there. There isn't really. We touched. A little bit of ways from it. I can't even see an overshoot, which would send it off in this direction. I mean, even if there's a slightly wider channel there or something like that, there'll still be no reason for the continuous down. So Let's get rid of this for now. But we could have a leg. Surprise there. I thought we'd have pushed a bit higher there, but not to be. Could be two larger legs. Yeah, that's my thought. Leg down with a break and then another leg down and then a bit. Trouble is, then I'll make it wide, doesn't it? We can, yeah, I mean, there could be sort of something like that and then a break and then sort of something like that, leg and a leg, and then maybe we continue to push up. But usually, if the wider it is, it usually then incorporates something further down. But the only lowest part, apart from there, is there. But we couldn't have a channel there because it would be coming out here somewhere. So yeah, I mean, maybe we end up doing something. I don't know. It just seems a bit too extreme, that, doesn't it? These types of legs usually don't go out this wide, especially if that's the first leg. By the time we get the other leg, it's going to be out here somewhere. Perhaps there's just a leg, two legs of correction, and a completely separate. Doesn't have to include this, does it? Okay, so this may be an overshoot, so that might create it to go up a bit, and maybe let's just put that the same, just out of curiosity. So yeah, we could have a leg, a break, and then another leg. Leg, break, leg. I'm going to bring this up for now because we don't really need that. It doesn't fit there. That kind of works okay. Maybe include that, but it doesn't really matter in all fairness. It just looks a bit neater that way, doesn't it? I mean, there is a possibility there could be a bit of that actually might make a bit better sense. Okay, that kind of fits a bit better, that does. Yeah, I like that. That's better. So we came from here, we touched here, we touched here. It fits nicer on the top end as well, that does, doesn't it? You agree with that? I want to take that up a bit to there so it fits nice there. So let's just bring that a fraction. Okay, yeah, I like that. So, okay, so this may be a break. A couple of it. Let's see. I kind of like that. It fits a bit neater, that does. A bit of a spike and channel. It fits around about the same sort of place. Touch, touch, touch. The break. I'll see. I mean, we've had a break regardless anyway, so however you draw it, whether I did like it before or not, it kind of fits okay, doesn't it? But that's the trouble, really. Sometimes you can adjust these multiple ways and they always seem to fit. But whatever channel you have, I mean, I think it's definitely fair to say this is a break. So there's no argument there. So, interesting, another bearish bar there, which is triggered now. Is that going to push up and stop it out? Because there's no reason why we can't just go up and just keep continuing down. I don't think we will. Usually when we have a little bit of a break, we do try to make a new high. So I think if you take trades like that as a first entry, it just adds to the risk. Now, it is fitting, in all fairness, but it's a first leg. And it's trades like that can go against you, but sometimes the momentum just helps you out. So, but I wouldn't like to be in that trade now. It might still hold, but I have a feeling it's going to stop it out and a leg up and a leg up. I think this is where we're going to have a break, personally. Oh, do you know what, guys? I think I might be getting a migraine. Weird is that? I've just noticed the chart's looking a bit patchy. There's parts of the chart where are going a bit blotchy. That's unusual. Okay, there is a lower high there, but it's congested. Okay, that's pushed down. Yeah, part of the chart I can't see with my right eye. I have to keep an eye on that. I might need to finish a bit early. Okay, so that lower high, I think it worked. It did work, yeah. Yeah, I've had them before, mate, just once in a while. I don't get the headache. I just find if I get my right finger and bring it round, it's almost nearly in line with my right eye before I can see it. I feel a bit sick, but I don't get the headache. I used to get it quite often. I forget what they used to call it, but I've just noticed when I'm looking at the chart, there almost seems like little parts of the bars that are missing, so I'll have to keep an eye on that. I've had it checked before. It's just I'm one of the lucky ones that gets migraines once in a while without the headache. I don't get the pain, fortunately. But my mum used to get them, and they used to be debilitating. But now I just get some of the effects. That one eye, my right eye, goes a bit patchy, like there's something missing, and I feel a bit sick. Okay, so that did work. So we are continuing down in this. So whether that was a good second entry. The bit that's confusing me about this is, one, it's a bit congested. Now, Mac will say 4 bars back to back, and that was. And the bit that's confusing me is a lot of the times when we have a channel like this, we'll have a break and a new high. And a lot of times, well, sometimes you can get into a trade and it'll trap you and then push up, and that's why we have a break. So there's just, it's a little bit congested. It's a leg up, but I don't know, it's not a leg with a new high. So if we go from here, I'm struggling to see this a bit now. If we go from here, there's a little channel there with a break, but we don't make a new high. So there's no small body bar there. I think I know what you mean. We've come off the bottoms. Not consider congestion. Trouble is, with stuff like that, I'd like to have a break and maybe a new high, because it is a little channel there, but I don't know. That's the trouble with trading. It's yeah, I just got a feeling we're going to have a break here, because we've had this channel. I can't see where this channel's had a break, made a real attempt at a new high, and I think at some point it's likely to try and retest these highs. Maybe not. In all fairness, I've got a bit of a migraine here, and it's affecting my vision a little bit with my right eye. Okay, so this is the break I was concerned about. So that was a little bit of a channel there with a break. I've been caught out with stuff like that before. If that would have triggered and pushed up, leg and a leg, And I'd have posted that, someone would have said, oh, there's a little bit of congestion there. So it's one of those things. But I still expect a break, which now we've had. Fortunately, it was here and not here. But you can see why I was a little bit hesitant to get into a trade. Now, if this was a normal downtrend and we hadn't come off a break, then I may consider something like that. But it is a little bit congested. There's a few bars side by side. There's 4 bars side by side. Yeah, I'm going to have to go and take a tablet. I'm missing a little piece of this. I'm not clearly seeing these bars. Okay, excuse me just a couple of minutes, Max. Excuse me a couple of minutes. I'm just going to go and take a tablet. Okay, see if I can battle through this. This is getting worse, isn't it? Struggling to read the words on the. Let me just see if I can plot. Move that out of the way a minute. Someone said Max is up, didn't they? Let me have a look. Hopefully Mac will have something similar to us. I'd be more interested in how he's got that long channel. I still expect that to come in, I would. Let's have a look. Okay, yeah, see, Max got, you mentioned, it mentioned that, they got it to the top, it just didn't look right to me. Let's have a look. So, Max got it from down here, somewhere there, and there, and he's got his up here. Okay, fair enough. So he's got his, where's he got his break? Okay, he's got his break here, so he's got a, Be so careful here. Struggling to see. Just going to remove that. So I'm blowing up a bit. Okay, so we've had a break out of that. Maybe a second entry long. I expect it to come back into here and make a break, make a new low. I do. Yeah, excuse me just a second. Okay, there's that new low I was expecting. So we've had a break from that now. Let's see what happens. Let's have a look. I've got to be a bit careful here because I'm struggling to see properly. I'm getting patches in front of my eyes. Okay, so we've had a break of here and then a really strong push down. Let's have a look. It's a sideways range. That was a strong push down. Yeah. So break to the lows. Yeah. Interesting that is. Say, I've just had some water. I've just took a couple of paracetamol and a couple of ibuprofen, but I haven't had them for a while. I get them without the pain where I just feel a bit sick and I get patchiness in front of my eyes where I can't read stuff clearly. So I've took those tablets. Hopefully they usually kick in pretty quick. So yeah, okay. I'm just going to take a 5-minute break and I'm going to make a quick drink. Give these tablets a chance to kick in. So let me just type something on the screen here. Why did I not get something there? Oh, okay. Back in 5. Okay, 5 minutes. Okay. Just trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Got 11 points off that. What, that one there? Hell, good on you, mate. Right, I got myself a cup of coffee. Strange, a lot of this liquidity is dying out a bit for some reason. Unusual. So, what I think we may have here is a leg down. That's more than a leg, isn't it? Leg and a leg. It's more than a leg. Let's see if we start pushing up now. Yeah, I mean, I thought we may have a couple of legs and a push up, but that's just... We may end up... I cannot see that properly. May end up going into a blooming what's it there. So it just doesn't seem right to me, that. I think there's a possibility this just may end up being a range. It's possible. Yeah, it could just be a bit of a range, I think, the way that's coming back. So let's get rid of that for now. Yeah, quite possibly a range. I tend to not use these fib tools much, but there's the market open. So we're at just over the 50% off now, so... Okay, so touched. We turned at the daily support. Yeah, I don't know, do we? The daily support. I mean, here somewhere. You turned up, you mean? Just wondering whether there's a bit of a spike there with the channel. Just wondering when we may trap some shorts here. So yeah, there is a possibility we could sort of look up again. See if we can trap some shorts here. Failures, short failures. Just hoping we may trap some shorts there, and then sort of have another leg up, and then are we thinking up or are we thinking down? It's hard to say, really, isn't it? Okay. To be honest with you, I mean, if we are ranging, or the bigger picture, you would probably expect to come lower than this. There's quite a bit of support around here. So it push up like that, have a little bit, and then a bit of a drop, and then push back up. That would sort of put us into something like this as a bigger channel. That just looks too shallow to me. So I think we're going to come down lower, and I'll be surprised if we don't make a couple of legs. That would take us down here. That makes sense, doesn't it? There's no reason why it would upturn and start pushing up here, especially that short term. Yeah, I don't know. I think for me, we're coming down a bit, personally. Okay, try go once, try twice. Maybe this is fair. I don't know. It's way too far away from the EMA for me, but it's a bit congested there. So, like, I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on here at the minute. I would have said, really, I'll be surprised. To push up like this, trap some shorts, and then push up like this. We've come down a bit too far for that, I think. Because a lot of the times, we'll do this. You know, we may trap some shorts here, and then we'll push up. But look how far we've come down. That just doesn't seem right to me. Doesn't seem right. So, I don't know. Unless we push up and get a higher low. I'm surprised there. I thought we would have come down. Just, I can't see. Doesn't seem to make sense why we come down so far and not come down anymore. Maybe this is a trend. Try to go once, right? Maybe a couple of legs up and then down. I'd say we're coming down, me personally. I'd expect to come down. I might be wrong. We got a channel down. Maybe just be 2 attempts to go higher and then down. For me, we're coming down. Untradeable, absolutely. There's no setup here really. As much as I think we're coming down, there's no way I'm going to trade it. But what it does look like is a couple of attempts to go higher and then down, but who knows. Usually, if we're going to push off, come back, retrace maybe halfway and then push up, so then we get a bigger channel. I'll be surprised if this doesn't trap some longs. I hope I'm wrong, but it does seem to have come down too far to start working out. I might be wrong though. I could be talking out my arse. My vision isn't brilliant at the moment with this bit of a strange migraine, so let's have a look. Okay, we pushed that once. Maybe we're going to have 3 attempts and then lower. Who knows? Who knows? Leg, break, leg. Okay, there's the measured move, near enough. Same again, there's no entry. You wouldn't want to go... I mean, as we push down, you wouldn't want to go short there really anyway. There's no higher low there really, apart from that one. You wouldn't want to go short here. It's just too congested, so we did trigger down a little bit, now we've pushed up, but I don't know, I'm not a fan of going long at the moment either. It's just a bit unusual, it's a little bit choppy. We had this sort of, you'd expect it to attempt to make a new high, but it didn't really. We just sort of dropped at a break and a new low, and then we just came down and we've gone up, down and up. I don't know. What do I know? Let's get rid of this. A lot of the times these markets can be relatively predictable, but sometimes you're not quite sure what they're doing. And this is one of them. We had a leg down, then I either expect to come down and make a new low and drop below there, or maybe go so far and trap some shorts and then have another leg up and then end up, you know, sort of working up. Now, is there any... now there is, as we can see, here, here and here, a little bit of support and resistance there, which is playing a bit of a part. Clearly there, clearly some support, resistance a little bit there and a little bit here, so whether we will push up or whether we'll come down a couple of legs and then maybe down some more, I don't know. Looks a bit too higher really to drop again, but I don't know, I'm just going with it. You know, trading lately can be really predictable, but you can have times that it just does not make sense. Nice double bottom in the 1 minute. ATR's climbing up a little bit as well. It's been low continuously for long periods of time, around about 130, 140, 150. It's quite high. It's the highest it's been for quite a while. So, push up. With this going sideways, I would expect to have a push up, a little bit of sideways, another push up, like a slightly wider channel. But just at the moment, it's going to have to be like that. But there's clear some support there, so resistance rather. So whether we will push through or not, I don't know. It's hard to say. So maybe it is that leg. 2 attempts to go higher, and then down we go. Let me just see if there's a possibility of a bigger channel. I think it's too low for that now. That is unusual. I thought it was unusual to come here and then start pushing up. If we're ranging, which it looks like we are, because we had a breakout of this and we made a couple of measly attempts to go high and it dropped quite strong. A couple of attempts to go high and it's dropping again. So I'd probably expect to come down some more, maybe here, because there is a little bit of support there, or maybe right at these overnight lows. A couple of legs up and then down. I thought if we can get a couple of legs up here and then a lower high. Okay. Possibility we could have something like that. Okay, so I did draw that about 15 minutes ago, but when we started pushing up dramatically, I took it away. But it does look like to me we've got a leg with a couple of pushes up and then another leg which would take us close to the bottom here. And for me, there's no other reason that would do that. There is some support around here, but for me, I'd say it's likely we're going to continue down. Whether this is right or not, maybe. It's hard to say, but we've got a touch here, touch here, touch here. But it's not difficult to connect three areas, so who knows. Okay, there is some strong liquidity at 10, which is down here. Hey bud, how you doing? How you doing? Okay, it's a bit too far from the EMA for my liking, but there is some strong liquidity at 10, so it could come down. Okay, as I thought, 210, it's eaten that up. Okay, there's more liquidity down there. It does seem like we're going lower, so lower it would be for me. Okay, so liquidity at 275, which is down here. So I do expect it to continue down, but there is also a possibility of a slightly bigger channel. Just get rid of some of this now because it's a bit. Not a fan of this. Leg up break. Just triggered that. It may push up. Yeah, there is, mate. Push up break, new high, lower high. I'm just not a massive fan of this. It's just making me a bit nervous, this. If we had sort of like a trend or something, it may interest me, but hey Thomas, how you doing, pal? Are you basking in the nice warm sunshine like we are in Shropshire? It's beautiful here. It's about I think we got about 26 degrees, considering the weather's been naff lately. It's been floating around about the 20 degrees. In Shrewsbury, beautiful. Absolutely stunning. Okay, so there was a small channel with a break here and a lower high there, but something just didn't seem right. I'm not exactly sure where. There is I've got sort of this, and this, but a leg break I'd expect to come up to here and then maybe come down lower, but there is a possibility it could be just a bit of a spiking channel. This may push a bit higher, and this may be the bottom. It's hard to say at the moment. Let's see where this finishes, or if it goes higher, and then this is a slightly different angle. Let's have a look. Okay. Okay, normally I'd be interested in a higher low like that, but as we're constantly touching these, it's just a bit risky. I kind of like it when we have a leg, a couple of legs back, and then a higher low. It's just risky because we clearly seem to be holding along here, so let's have a look. It's just too risky, that is. We had a push up, we had a break, we had a new high, but there's no setup there, no setup to go short there. You just can't take that when it's a bit of a no-no because we've got a leg and a leg. There is a possibility it could break. And all of a sudden, it just drops. I wouldn't take that because, one, it's a big bar, and two, it hasn't. It's just risky, that is. What is it? It's a 14. So it's 3.5 points. Tick below. It's 4-point risk. You probably wouldn't have got in it because it dropped quite quickly, but you don't know whether we're going to push up. It might bounce here a bit and push up a bit higher. It's just there's no setup at all there. You just can't take that. The chances, I mean, it came down, yeah, but it's no setup. It's just we've pushed up and we've just dropped quickly. Not only that, we couldn't have got in there really. You'd have to be mega lucky to get in there because that just dropped as well. It's just unfortunate, but it's one of those things. Same again if there's a short here. Same again, risky. I don't like the fact that it's come up and it's come down there and it's only a couple of ticks off. If it's touch, where's the bottom? There isn't really a bottom, is there? There's that one, but I don't like the fact that we've had this push out. I don't know. I mean, if you bring this down and forget all that, it's only really touched twice, so it's risky. It could trap you short here and push up. I'm not a fan of any of this. It's hard to know what's going on, really. I'm not a fan of what I've got here. If you bring that down there, I don't know. I don't like the fact that we've come to here. We've a little bit further away, a little bit further away. It's getting further from here, so it may trigger you and push up. You know, I'm getting better at just looking at something now and thinking, doesn't look right, doesn't feel right, so I'm staying out of it. But that looks like, yeah, it's just risky. So if you'd have taken that there, lower high, you think nice strong down, lower high, what happens? It triggers you. Sideways, it's likely going to stop you out. If it's not a perfect setup, market's just going to torch you, and it will. Whether the algorithms are getting better at looking for weak points. If you get a good solid setup, really good setup, they move. And the reason they move is because lots of traders recognize it's a good setup, and a lot of traders then will take a position there. And that's why, you get these really good, great setups and they just move. You get a real strong movement. And if you get anything less than something decent, it just chops you up. We're touching here, touching here, touching here. I'm not a fan of what's going here because we came down to here and then I'm just not a fan. And then we didn't have a measured leg. We had a strong down and a little bit of sideways. That to me is a weak setup. It's sideways. It may work, but it's a weak setup. And it's triggered a couple of ticks. Now, it may come down, but stuff like that, you just got to be so careful of because it'll just torture you. You'll get away with it sometimes, but it's not a great setup. Yes, you know, so if you didn't take that one, you may think, okay, we'll go short here. It may work, but sometimes it'll just literally torture you. It'll trap you a couple of times and then it'll just push up and take you out. Okay. Now, I'm just not a fan of what's going on here, really not. Let's see how far this comes down. Okay, that area of support which we notice, you clearly see it's using a little bit. It's bouncing, so where's that gone? Where's it gone? Why is it? That's unusual. Interesting. Yeah, as isn't it? I thought we were going to get a nice move up. It seemed to fit really nice, didn't it? We started off with quite the ATR was around about 3, wasn't it? And then it went down to around about 1700. I thought we're going to get a nice sort of 170. We started to get nice, strong, and I thought, you know, maybe a leg, and we're going to continue up, and all of a sudden, a little bit of sideways, a little bit of a break, and then drop. Which is telling me we're moving more into a range. You can clearly see there's a little bit of support there, because you can see it there, can't you? It's bouncing a little bit, so I expected a little bit of sideways, but if we can get below there, then I expect it to come down, possibly even to the overnight lows. Would make sense. And once we get below here, there's no reason why we shouldn't continue down. Yeah, it's possible, Dean. Well, the news was here. Where was the news? It was here, wasn't it? It's hard to say, mate, really, isn't it? It has been sort of, let's have a look. If you look lately, it's clearly ranging, isn't it? Yeah, really. Slight uptrend, but if you look at it all over, really, going back from there, what are you doing? It's clearly just ranging, isn't it? So I expect it to get down to the bottoms. Whether it'll come down as low as this or not below there, who knows? But I expect it to come down certainly lower than it is now. So maybe we get a lower high here or something like that. The trouble is, you know, initially I had it here and then we're a bit further away then. Now we're even further away. So if you bring this sort of, if you bring that over there till it works there, fair enough, it does. But now look, it's not come down as low and it's pushed up. So we're still working off this area. Touch, 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 touch. It's just a little bit further away. And a lot of times where it does that, it doesn't come down as far as this. A lot of times we can get a break. We pushed down and went a bit sideways, so it's hard to say. What I've found now is sometimes I don't really even need to think about if it's a setup. It either feels right or it doesn't. If we get a setup, I think when you've been doing it a while, you just look at it and it's either yeah, definitely, or no. Sometimes it'll be it's a bit risky, but you know, usually I get that feeling now, either yeah, and I can't get my order in quick enough. Okay, so let's see what happens. Okay, so a break I expected because we didn't come as far. In a lot of the cases when we lose our momentum, a lot of cases we do get a break. So I would still expect to come down, but that's our low at the bottom. So whether it's hard to say. It could come down, trap you, come down a couple of, point to something and then push up. It's hard to say. What is the CPI news? Consumer Price Index. We have got some tonight, actually. FOMC. It's just be talking about the. I don't know actually, but it's medium. I don't tend to pay too much attention to it, and it's 9:15 UK time, so it's quite late in the afternoon for me. So I'm well done by then. Okay, so a leg up break. Now we've made a new high, but we're losing momentum there. I mean, that was the bit that confused me, but then, okay, fair enough, we're touching. So that seems to be working now, but then all of a sudden, we're losing a bit of momentum and we get a little bit of a sideways and then a strong push up. So now this is the same again. We could go up, trap some shorts and then push up again. Let me have a look a minute. Okay, so in all fairness, this to me looks like it's the bottom of this channel now, I would say. The bottom of this range. So we touched a bunch of times here. So for me, I would say I'm going to move this away, and now I'm going to move this, and I would say for me, this is likely the bottom of this channel at the moment. We have started here, and we have had a break. Now, obviously, there's let's have a look. There's the low there, or overnight lows, whatever you want to call them. They're definitely there, but we've bounced here, and we've bounced here again, and we've also bounced there a few times. So there is a possibility now this could be the channel, could be the range. We may go up, down, up, down, up, down. So trying to go short here. It may go short, but it may trap some shorts and push up. So we've pushed up, we've had a little bit of a break. So to me, this is looking like it's going to push up higher. It looks like a bull flag, push up, bit of sideways, and another push up. Be nice to trap some shorts then, and then get a nice higher low, taking out some short stops. So, but yeah, if you look here, it's clearly, this looks like it's bottoming to me. And if you look left, we touched a couple of times here, and you can clearly see it. So for me, with the exception of that initial push up and a bit of sideways, an initial drop down, for me, this seems like, for me, it's likely to be the bottom of this range. But I could be wrong, but this is just, you know, to me, it looks like it's bottom in there. And if we look back, obviously, it's touched a few times. So there is a possibility that we could have a bull flag, push up sideways, and then another push up like a mirror image. So this is what I would say I'm expecting. Now, it'd be nice to drop, trap some shorts, and then work up if you can get a higher low there. Just because we've got a channel and we've had a break of it doesn't necessarily mean we're going to make a new low, especially for at the bottom of this, what I think is likely a range. But it's got to be a comeback here and give us a good setup to go long. Okay, up we go. Yeah, that's a bull flag to me. Push up, a little bit of sideways with a slight upward angle, and then another leg. It'd be nice to trap some shorts though. Okay, here we go, second leg. At least 50% retracement of the move down. Okay, this is where I expected to get to now. I think we're enough up there now. And we see this all the time. Leg, a little bit of sideways with a slight angle, and another leg. Just a little bull flag we see this all the time, but the more I say it, the more I think one day I'm just going to wait for something half decent and just drop it in. But I always leave it, but it is something we see all the time. Leg sideways with a slight angle, and then another leg, which is going to take us up to measured leg. Let's have a look. One more tick. Beautiful. Okay, so that, I don't know how many times I've mentioned that. We get a channel, a little bit of congestion, but of a slight angle you can clearly see every time. And then we push up and touch our measured leg. So I don't know, at some point in the time, maybe I may take something at the bottom of this and then see if it works. I don't know, maybe. Okay, so I don't think now we're going to come back down to this level again, personally, because we've hit it a bunch of times here. We've hit it a few times here. So for me, I think it's hit this area more times than it hasn't. So I expect now it to continue up. It may come back slightly, but I expect it to maybe move to a channel. So I think it's likely we're going to have something like that. So whether we get up to this area where we know there's some support, resistance. And funnily enough, if you look on the 10,000 tick chart, we've pushed again up against it as well. So we came from the tops, we went a little bit sideways, pushed strongly, come up to it once, a couple of times, and now we've pushed above it now. So I would say for me, we're going to work up a little. Well, you can tell it's warmer in the UK today. My fan on my PC is going like the clappers. It's 27 degrees here in the UK, which is about 5 degrees heavier than, higher than it's been for about the last month. Okay, possibly a little bit of a spike in a channel, which would probably look a bit better. Okay, excuse me a second. I've just got a parcel's coming. Okay, sorry about that. Hey Lance, do you think doing one trade is feasible? Yeah, I think so, yeah. One trade a day. If you can do one trade a day, preferably a winning trade, you can make a lot of money. And in some cases, you're better off doing it, I think, because if you're just taking one, you are waiting for a really nice, solid trade. And lately, if you look at my channel, that's more or less what I've been doing. Let me just bring it up quickly. Yeah, if you look at what I've been doing lately, so one there, couple there, one there, three there, two there, one there. So what have I done lately? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've had 9 trades and I've lost 1, 2. So I've won 9 and lost 2, which is not bad at all. One of those ones, I should have just left that. It was careless. And the reason I did it, I just traded it on one of my accounts. Otherwise, it would have been pretty good. But yeah, ones I think is a good place to be, personally. So a leg and a leg. We may be coming down. Let's see. Sorry, mate. I've got a bit of a migraine at the moment, and my eyes, I get them just once in a blue moon without the pain, but I see little patches, and I haven't been clearly reading it. And not one trade, it means 1 second entry trade specifically. More a question than a setup. The number of trades. My head's a bit fried at the moment, mate. I'm struggling to... Okay, so leg, lower high. Do I want to take that one? No, I don't. We have been down this bottom before, so... second entry only. I think most of the stuff I take is second entries. Or higher lows. But if you listen to people like, what's his name, Vlad, he takes second entries, higher lows, but I think he stays away from picking tops and stuff. So, yeah, second entries, and it is working. I didn't think it would. Second entries are okay. Second entries are good. Obviously, you know, context, being in the right context. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that, in all fairness. Yeah, sorry, mate. I'm not taking things in very clear at the moment. So second entries only. I think you mean, is that the types of trades to look for? I think so, yeah. Yeah. Okay, I didn't expect that. the bit that confused me about this, that I didn't fancy coming down, was the fact that it looks like it's bottoming there, and it has touched a few times there, so... So, if we get a break here, could we go lower? How low have we got? We could go lower than this. Okay, so that's quite a nice channel. Let's see if we have a break and a new low. So we've had this channel down there, we've had a break and a new low. So that's as low as we've been. I can't get my head around today, in all honesty. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Second entries are relatively straightforward, but yeah, go for things like second entries. Leave failures alone. To be fair, I remember trying to find out what the hell a failed second entry. I just couldn't get my head around it. But yeah, just go for things like second entries. You know, if we get a nice channel down here and it makes 2 attempts to go higher, you get a nice big bearish bar, it's a second entry. Stick to those things. Yeah, get to understand the second entry and then just work on it. And the only real way to pick this up is just to trade as much as you can. And if you know, if you're at work time and you don't have a lot of time, then just trade after hours. After you finish back from work, just open up the chart and then drag it this way, and then just use your arrows like this, and then just trade it like it's happening, and then, you know, mark things up, and then where you think setups, you know, put a little mark here, and then move it again. So you can move this after hours when the charts, you know, finish for the day. So, and the good thing, you don't have to wait for a bar to finish. You can just tap the arrow bar and bring it. But yeah, just second entries, unfortunately, at the moment, because market conditions are tough, there's not as many of them. But it takes a lot of fine tuning to get your trades. I'm finding now, I think you'll get to the stage where you can just look at something and think, yes, I like it, or no, I don't. You know, now and again, you'll just look at a trade and you'll go, I love that one, I can't get in, you know, I can't get my order in quick enough. It's beautiful and clear. You know, we've had a break, we've dropped down to the bottom, 2 legs up lower. You know, you get to the stage where you can just look at something and it just works. It looks beautiful. And when you get that feeling, in my opinion, depending on how experienced you are, even at my level, I think, and I class myself as just scraping the intermediate level, I would say they work 98% of the time. Those trades that you look at and they're just perfect, beautiful, they fit lovely. Unfortunately, you don't get a great deal of them, but those trades, you know, so there is a second entry short, and we've got a little leg and a little leg. My only slight issue there is we've broken the lows, so it may work and it might not work. It's a bit too far away from the EMA for me to get into this trade. Now, it might work. It is a second entry short, but it's a bit too far away, and we are getting to... I'm not exactly sure where these lows are, really, so I'm staying away from this personally. And guaranteed, every time you stay away from it, it works. It's when you get into it. But it is a second entry, but it's just too far from the EMA for me. I mean, I suppose you could trade that as a bit of a, you know, a bit of a breakout, but I've taken trades like that before, and they'll stop you out and push up, and then you'll end up getting something like this. You'll end up getting something like that, a little channel, and you'll have a break of it and a new high, and that's when you get your lower highs and that. But unless it's a trade that just jumps out at me, I just don't. I'm not interested. I want it to be an obvious trade, and if you do that, you'll get them right 90% of the time at least. Okay, so let me have a look at this. We're getting towards these lows now. Okay, so this is the lowest we've been. The market opened there, we came down there, and then pushed up. So this is as low as we've been. And then here as well. So let's see how far we get down. I think this could be a leg and a leg. So it is possible we could get lower. But I'd expect this to get down to this area. So in fact, yeah, trouble is, mates, you don't know whether it's going to bounce off here, trigger, and then come low, or whether it's going to push up. It's hard to say. But really, I think you've got to let these play out and then take them on the way up. Once they come away from a bottom, if they do bounce or maybe retest. I like it when they bounce, they push up, come back, push up a little bit more, trap some shorts, and then start pushing again. And they're the trades I seem to be doing a lot of lately. Maybe if this is the bottom, we trap some shorts, we come down here and we push up, take out these, and then we end up going in that direction. I've taken quite a few of them lately. And I think you do get used to a certain style or a certain type of trade that you look for that kind of works well for you. Okay, so let's just check there's nothing else. Okay, touch, close enough. Okay, so this is either a leg and a break and two pushes down to a new low, or it may trap some shorts and come down. It may trap some longs and come down some more. We do seem to be in a bit of a channel here, but we are getting close to these lows, so so it's important to remember, I have drawn a bigger channel here, but it's important to remember, could just be the one channel with a break and a new low, so we may be pushing up, so just be careful going short here. I'm not saying it's not going to work. It may be a bigger channel and we may retest this lows or come down, but for me they're a little bit too far away. The same as that one for me. They are dojis, although really all the dojis, it just means it opened and closed in the same place. But in all fairness, it's one tick off a sort of a perfect short trade. But I don't know, something I don't like about this, which is why I'm not getting involved. It's too far from the EMA for me. I mean, there is a possibility. Could just be something like that. But I don't know, I'm not a fan of this. That's the trouble. There's so many different ways to adjust this and draw these, but okay, looks to me like there's a little bit of congestion there, which makes... I don't like the way, see, although those are just literally finished like that. It's a bit unusual, that, so that could just be... That could go out and take out some of those. Yeah, so... okay, so you did get stopped out there, so... so you'd have squeezed a 0.25 out of that, but in all honesty, it's just risky because they're so far from the EMA, and they've obviously trapped some traders then and gone and stopped them out. Yeah, you've got to be careful with MJ, ain't you? If you were trading a point, you'd have got a point there, but that's just got risk written all over it to me. We're getting really close to these lows, so... And all I've drawn a bigger channel there, but to me, what I can definitely say is that's a smaller channel with a break and a new low. So... I mean, it doesn't really matter whether I got that or not, affair. But what we will agree with is that that's clearly a small channel there. It fits really nice, and we've had a break of it in a new low. So you've got to be careful going short again. If you look at that like that, it's dangerous going short. But if you make the channel a bit bigger, you might go short. So it's good. It's good to look at these other channels, but it's important to just think about the small stuff, and then the bigger stuff will come in time. So are we going to continue up? I mean, what we've had that channel down in whatever form, forgetting that bit. We've had a couple of legs, a break of it, and obviously we made a new low. And not only we've made a new low, we had a smaller channel we broke. So that's played out, and the bigger one's played out, and we are close to the overnight lows. Now, when you say close, it doesn't mean it can't come down to them properly. It doesn't mean it won't break out of them, but you just got to be careful going short around here when we are so close to the bottoms. God, do you know, I can't get over how little setups there are compared to maybe even 6 months ago. It's weird. We were getting 3, 4, 5, 6 good setups a day, and really good setups. Not only that, now you get even half a setup. If it's not quite good, it'll just backfire on you and chop you up. I don't really know why. I know people say, the institutional traders are off on holiday. Yeah, okay, so there's less volume. Okay, so you want it to look like there's more volume, go down to 1,000 tick chart. That'll seem like there's more volume. But there's still lack of... For me, it's almost like the algorithms have been updated and changed, and if there's a slight, it's almost like they've been more fine-tuned to, to pick up these sort of slightly weak entries, and very few of them. I mean, I don't know all the nuts and bolts. This is just stuff that, that crosses my mind, just out of curiosity. Unfortunately, I've never worked in any type of financial environment. I'm purely a retail trader, just like most of you guys, where I've just learned to do this in my own time. So I've had to sort of learn a lot of it the hard way. Whereas if you work for these big institutions, you generally know how things work. Excuse me a second. Sorry. Wife's just made me a sandwich. These are the types of trades I look for now. The trap shorts. If it works. But if you're looking for a measured leg there, we haven't come down nowhere near enough, and we are a ways, you know, maybe, I don't know, a few points away from the overnight lows, the open, whatever you want to call them, which is down here. So if we're ranging, which we seem to be, there's a possibility we could come down. And so let's have a look anyway. These are the types of trades I kind of like. We get like a channel down here, trap some shorts, triggers above it, and then starts working. If you can get into these early, they can move quite well. But actually, that kind of so like, oh yeah, I like that. Trap some shorts maybe, looking for a higher low. Touch. Come off these lows. Let's see. What I will say is there is a little bit of support there. So if you had a second entry along there, it's advisable to get out. Loving the PA. Yeah, you and me both, mate. I'm assuming that was a sarcastic comment, wasn't it? Yeah, there is a little bit of support and resistance there, so just got to take caution there. But it does look like we touched here, touch here. Touching quite nice there. I'd like to think we were moving up there after we've had this channel. We've had a break and a new low. We've also got a smaller channel. We've had a break and a new low. So all this is played out. We have come close to the lows, but not right close to them. So I don't think there's anything wide there. Although there is a possibility. There is a possibility that that may turn into something. Who knows? No sarcasm at all. Now, if you're nearly 300 up on each thing, yeah, it's good price action for you. Yeah, absolutely. Everyone has their certain setups that they like, for sure, yeah. A lot of the time when we have these channels and we have a break, you know, lots of people are looking for shorts, and sometimes if it's a weak setup, it'll trigger them and then start to push up. Those are the trades I kind of like to get into. I was hoping we may have a higher low here. But you have got to be careful because it hasn't come down to these bottoms, and it still may. You've still got to be a little bit cautious about a little bit. We've had a break of that, and a little bit sideways, one leg, two leg, and then maybe some more. It's hard to say. So. See, on the 10,000 tick chart, this may, what it's looking like, just might be a couple of legs up to the EMA. And that's what I mean about that. 2 legs. On the 10,000 tick chart, it could do that and then come down. Where was it? That one, isn't it? Yeah. So, I mean, we got a leg and a leg, we got a leg and a leg, so we may just be coming up. Because it's pretty bearish there, if you look at that. So it may be just a couple of legs back up to this EMA, which would take us up to around about here. So it could be a couple of legs and then maybe down some more. It's hard to say at the moment. But if ever I've got this things where I'm not mega clear, I tend to leave things alone. Because I am aware we haven't been right down to these and we could do. And there may be something a little bigger there, waiting for a second long. That's what I was looking for, but I am aware that it could. We've got a little bit sideways. It could be 1 leg, 2 leg, and then it may come down. There is a possibility there could be something. And if you look at that, funnily enough, touches here, touches here, it touches here, touches here. So it kind of fits in there. So there is a possibility it could come down. It's hard to say, and I kind of like to see the bigger picture, and the biggest picture's telling me there is a possibility of a bigger channel down, and there's always a possibility. Excuse me, there's a leg up and a leg up, so we may then get some more downward stuff, so you've just got to be careful. If we'd have hit the bottoms here, and then we were bouncing off, I'd be interested. And another thing as well, this is quite a shallow channel, so I don't know, we could drop. It's hard to say. There you go. So, unless that pushes up and closes here, I'm getting rid of that, because whether you class that as a small channel break or a slightly big channel, 2 legs up, and then some more downward stuff, it's hard to say at the moment. But, and we hear the penguin guy saying this all the time, don't we? We got a channel, made 2 attempts to go higher, and then we came down some more. So we could come down. That could just be a couple of legs up. And then we're going to work down lower. It's possible. You know, I'm not convinced we're going up as much as I was. Yeah, when it's quite choppy like this, you've really got to be careful what you do, because it can send off different messages. So after we've had that, whether we have the small and we've had a break in a low, and we are close to the lows, but we haven't hit the lows, and if we're in a range, chances are, I think it's more likely we're going to hit those lows, even possibly break the lows. There's also a possibility of a leg and a leg. Obviously, that sideways has gone a bit funny now, and there's also a possibility of a bigger channel. Since we were here, we're working down. So until I get you know, a confirmation we're working in another direction, we're coming down, and we only really want to be looking for shorts. And now, you know, if this had a sort of started working like that, once we get above here and maybe retest this bit here and work it up, then obviously I'll be thinking long. But it's quite shallow, you know. If we're breaking off the bottoms, you know, I'd sort of like it a little bit steeper. In all fairness, all this is some sideward stuff now, and it's probably sideways because people are unsure, are we moving up now, or are we still coming down any lower and touching the lows? So it's confusing, and as long as you're confused, the only thing you can do is just to stay out of it. And as frustrating as it is just sitting here and watching it going like that, and as eager as we all are to try and channel down 2 attempts ago higher, as eager as we all are to try and get a trade done, you just got to be so careful, because market's got a habit of just being brutal. You know, you get trapped. Oh, there's so many more traps now. You've got to be so careful. Fortunately, that'll come with experience. Now, I'm getting more experience of not getting trapped, purely and simply because I spent such a lot of time getting trapped. And the more times you get trapped, you start to notice that pattern then. And then those trades that you were getting before, you tend to leave them alone. And when the traps would have worked, you know, you kind of get that thing then, okay, I'm starting to understand it now. And that's how it is. The best way to learn to trade is to just, you know, watch videos from people like Mac, mix with other guys like you all help each other, and trading. Spending as much time as you can on the charts day by day. It's like anything. The more you do it, the better you get at it. You can't help but get better at it. I have Einkind Senate. It doesn't show clearly. I still have it absolute. Yeah, but temptation always kills me. Yeah, it gets us all at some point, mate. So, nice big bullish bar there. Really nice bullish bar. And it may work, but we're in a channel here. So I tend to leave these. I don't have a lot of luck with picking bottoms, and that to me is picking a bit of a bottom. Now, some people might jump at that, and it is a big bullish bar, and it does engulf that, but I don't know. I'm just not a massive fan of that. Worst time of the day for you, Chris, yeah. I got to say, my patience is getting better now. I can sit here for 3 hours, and I can walk away, and I kind of feel pleased with myself, the fact that there hasn't been a good... And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, as you could want trades as bad as as it can be, but if there's no setups, you can't take them, because if there isn't setups, and there's half-cocked setups, the market will just punish you, and it will. The algorithms run all this, I believe, from what I know, and if there's weak setups, the algorithms take advantage of it. You've got to wait for strong setups where you get more experienced traders with bigger pockets going in the same direction, and those are the trades. You get good trades, and the good ones will move. They won't just go up and down, they'll move. You know, a lot of the times we come down and we go sideways in one of these channels, and you get a nice big bearish bar, better than everything else, under the EMA, and all of a sudden it drops down because it's a good looking setup. How do you get hold of Vlad? I don't know him personally. I've not really spoke to him, but I believe he's on the if you're on Mac's website, I believe he talks in the forum there. I've not really said much in the forum, to be honest with you, because I spend all my time doing this. But I believe he's one of the experienced traders there who has a good level of success. And I believe he just goes for second entries, lower highs and failures. I think he stays away from picking tops and that sort of thing, I believe. But a couple of people have mentioned him to me over the last year or so. Okay, same again. That one, clearly risky. What happens? We came down. Now, you would have got a couple of points out of it, I think, but you'd have got a 1.5 out of that. But same again. Leg. So... probably don't need that really. This is just a couple of legs up and then a couple of legs down, so I think it's likely now we're going to get close to these lows of the day. Remember, we've got that measured move there that could still play out. So leg break leg. Yeah, I believe he's on there. If you're on the face, if you're not on Mac's website, it's, believe it or not, it's only $125 a year, and it's absolute value for money. There's dozens of videos on there which break down all the different entries and how to read charts and about measured moves, short-term trend channels, and all sorts. There's all sorts of stuff on there, reversals, everything, and it's all really good value. He could charge a lot more money, Mac, but he doesn't. Which tells me he's a genuine guy who kind of, likes helping people. You can pay lots of money. I know people who've paid thousands for courses. So it's absolute value for money. And I've got to say, every message I've ever asked Mac, I've always had a nice, friendly reply. And I know he gets a lot of emails, but he doesn't shy down on his email. He'll have he'll write up. A lot of people, they keep their answers short because they've gotten so many different messages. He'll happily spend 5 minutes and write you a nice message. Okay, so we've had a break of this. We've had a new low. So is it going to go down? Possibly. But it may trap some shorts. We've had a break and a new low. So you could get short and it could poss up. I don't know. It's just unclear for me. It's a bit choppy. Kind of like the bar, but I'm not taking it because we're going into these lows. As I say, it could trigger you and it could stop you out. Not really a great bar anyway. Yeah, we don't use I don't use VWAPs and MACDs. I have used them in the past when I first started trading currency, but this is sort of pure price action. So the only really indicator we use is the moving average, and then just really trend channels and range channels. I have a glance at Bookmap now and again just to sort of give me an idea of where liquidity might be if I'm expecting it to go down. There's lots down here, but apart from that, I keep it pretty simple. There may be a bit of sideways there. And we've had this channel down. We've made a couple of attempts to go higher, so it does look like it's trying to go lower. I'd like to see it make out this measured move. Unfortunately, there's no entry there. And look what's happened. As soon as you see what happened there, it ticked below there and quickly shot up. So there's just going to be loads of traps around here. But it's certainly it's certainly working its way down. But it has bounced here a few times, so this may be the time it comes down. Yeah, me as well, actually. We're lower than that now, so if people were interested in going off these bottoms back up into the range, they'd have done it by now. So yeah, I'll be surprised if we don't at least hit this level, and likely the open as well, which is down here. But you never know, do you? So a lot of the times it can do a bit of this sideways, just trapping people, and then until we get to something that good that every man and his dog jumps in at it. So let's blow this up a little bit. Yeah, trouble is you get into trades like this and they can punish you. You may have took that failure there. No, forget I said that. I'm mumbling now. So far, these highs have held. These tops have held. If we get below that bar there, see, we've bounced a bunch of times. We get a nice big strong bullish bar, and it's triggered and come straight down. So if we can get below there, then I expect it to get to reach here, possibly, if not the open, which is down here. Excuse me. Well, I can't believe 3 hours have gone already. I'm surprised, actually. I thought that would close below there. We've had a little breakout that, but it doesn't seem to be in a rush to come down. It seems to be holding. Maybe this will do it. Okay, maybe this might work. Okay, if it breaks below here, I expect then it to move down some more. Okay, so I expect it to get closer to these bottoms now. Let's have a look. So we're past that area there, so there we go. Here comes the overnight lows. So I thought once we get past that bar, there's probably going to be a few stops there. There's nothing else really to stop it, and there we go. We're bouncing on that now. I definitely expected to break below because this measured leg. So whether you make the measured leg here or whether you make the measured leg there, either way, it's getting below there. So, and it has. Okay, so new low for the day. Let's just double check that. Yeah, okay, so that was the open. Well, there was the open, there was the lows, the overnight lows, or yesterday evening's lows. So, let me see now if there is a bigger channel working here. It's hard to say, really. It might be a bit too early to say. I mean, if over time we come back to this level and then down again, then yeah, I suppose you'll say that. But we're clearly moving down now anyway. So ever since, what time was this? Around about 3 o'clock UK time, which is about, so the last 2.5 hours, excuse me, we're clearly coming down. Let me just get rid of this a minute. There's got to be something working there. Whether it's not from here, I don't think it is. No, it can't be. Let's have a look. Yeah, I'd say it's likely going to be that. What I'm going to do actually is just kill the colour on here so it's not as obvious. So that just means to me that it's a possible channel, but not necessarily a guaranteed one. But we are bouncing at the moment off this level, so let's see if we work back up. Okay, so touch, 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 touch. Let's see if we do work up a little bit now. Let's have a quick look at the 10,000 tick chart. 10,000 tick chart. Oh, bollocks. Excuse me. I hate that. Okay, so so more or less the same that we're looking at, really. Fits quite nice there. So we've actually broken the overnight lows, so be interested to see now if we push up again, either get to these tops or the EMA and then work down again. But I'm certainly only really looking for shorts at the moment, so we'll see what happens. I'm going to finish in a minute anyway, to be honest with you. What time is it? Let me have a look. Yeah, 10 more minutes, I think. Excuse me a minute. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's have a wee looky. I'm going to get rid of that now. So, leg up, leg up. Interesting to see where we get to now. So it looks like we're having a bit of a channel there. No argument there. Nice little channel. But bearing in mind the overall is down. So let's put that there. So we had this and then we've had a really nice channel down. So I'd like to think we're going to continue down. It's hard to say at the moment. There's a failure there. Not a fan of it though. I'm more thinking of shorts really. So we do seem to be holding on this midline a bit there. So, still looking for shorts really. It's actually starting to turn into a kind of nice downtrend actually. Excuse me. Just keep it in mind, folks, this 90% off finishes at midnight tonight. So if you are in the market for a cheap eval before midnight Eastern Standard Time this evening, my code's down there. If you do use it, it's appreciated. Although it does say UKFT 80, for some reason it just says that you do get the 90% off. So just make sure if you do sign up one, it only charges you $16. That finishes midnight tonight. If you do use the code, or you have used the code, I do appreciate it, so thank you. Okay, so we've had this little channel working up. We've had a break at a new high. So whether we come up to this high and move down, who knows? But I am looking for shorts at the moment. Anyway, my thought process is down currently. Only because that's what we've been doing for the last 2.5 hours, is working down. Now we've sort of seen through the low of the day, but there is a couple of levels yet to hit from yesterday, so there's a possibility we could come lower. It is working kind of nice, but obviously once we get to this level, if it gets up there, then it's something we're going to have to look at and make a decision at. But it's generally ranging. It's been doing it for the last few days. But today we've beaten the high of the last couple of days. So it's certainly feasible we could do the same on the lower side. That was yesterday. So we're, what are we now? Probably 10 points, 10, 12. I don't make 5, 10, 15, 20, 23 points. To beat that level. Now, I was kind of hoping we were going to get up to this level, because there's, I mean, if just have a quick glance at that now, it fits really nice. There's no argument there. It fits. Just, I know sometimes when you've been looking at these long enough, they just fit. Yes, it doesn't, hit the top many times, but you can clearly see we touch there. You can clearly see it's working within that area. Yeah, touch nice here, touch nice here, touch nice here. So there's no argument there. Excuse me. I bought 11 contracts with your code, 5 already been blown. Okay. Although I appreciate your money, mate, take the time with them, yeah? I'd feel bad about, I know it doesn't cost you money, but I'd feel bad about you taking multiple ones and blowing multiple ones. I mean, it's your money, but I'd like to see you succeed. But that's the trouble, really, when they make them so cheap. And I'm with you there. I've blown about a dozen this week. That's the trouble when they're so cheap. It's kind of frustrating. Excuse me. But if you do use the code, I do appreciate it, genuinely. I do a little bit of work weekends, and with what I've been earning, well, I haven't the last couple of weeks because I've been getting some payments. I had $2,000 this month out of two of my accounts, $1,000 of each. Last month I skipped a payment. Month before I took $4,000. Month before that $2,000, and then I had a gap of a few months. But I'm building accounts up now, so I can certainly take at least a couple of $1,000 or $1,000 out of each per month. But I've got 4, which are one trade under $2,000. So this time next month, I'll be looking to take $1,000. Excuse me, out of 4 of them, which should give me an okay wage then. And then obviously take 1,000. Then whatever I can get above that over the month, just continue to grow it. Okay, so that measured leg has played out nicely. So whether we go any higher or whether we continue down, it's hard to say really, but from what I'm seeing, unless we get a breakout, a new low and continue higher, I think we're going down still. Let's have a quick look at the 10,000 tick charts, basically telling us the same picture. That we're likely to see if we do continue down, maybe an entry somewhere around about this point. You'd expect that. Now whether we get an entry or not is a different matter. But shorts are my priority at the moment. So I'm going to give it another 15 minutes anyway, and then I'm going to knock it on the end for the day. Fortunately, my migraine has sorted itself out, but I did have trouble reading the chart at one point, and fortunately that's sorted itself out. I'll tell you what I wish they'd do. Now, so you buy 11 accounts, you've got to buy them all individually, haven't you? You've got to buy one, go through it, then buy. It's a pain in the arse. It's a shame you can't. They don't let you do them in blocks of, say, up to 3 or 5. If you want to take 10, it's a pain in the ass. You can't buy them. You've got to get them individually. I wish they'd sort that out. They should maybe allow you 5 at the same time. I'm surprised it doesn't ask you how many you want. And if they're trying to encourage you to get multiple ones, that you think they'd make it a bit quicker, wouldn't you? I'm trying to trade mine just along now, because what I used to do was trade them outside my normal trading hours. So I'd trade this for 3 hours and then I'd trade that. But the trouble is, when they're so cheap, you take stupid risks trying to get lucky. And in all fairness, it may work 1 in 10. But the more you blow, the more frustrating and angry you get. So I picked up 2 more last night, and I'm trading those with 8 contracts. So I can lose 2 in a row without blowing the account anymore. But I don't often lose 2 trades in a row, so I'm hoping I'll hit 4 winning trades before I hit 2 losing trades, and that will hopefully then pass those and give me 6 of them. So fingers crossed. Let's just change this colour. It's fright mad, that is, for some reason. Okay, clearly see it's working in there, can't you? So hopefully if we can get to this top, that for me is an area where I'll be looking for the market to turn down, hopefully. And not only that, there is, fortunately, as we've mentioned before, a little bit of support around there. Touching a bunch of times there, touch there. So that will be an area where you'd expect it to touch and reverse. And fortunately for us, that's at the top of the channel where you'd expect it to hit and hopefully reverse. So we've got a short-term trend channel, we've got a break, 2 pushes up to a new high, and hopefully it gives us something short, maybe a lower high below the EMA, something like that, possible failure. Let's see. Okay, beautiful. That's exactly what I wanted to get. Now we know we can look back and we can see there and there is some areas where it's struggling to get above, which is kind of useful for us. Perfect. That's a second entry short now. It's a second entry short. You haven't taken that, have you? It's just a bit risky there because we're sort of floating in the middle. Would you have got it? Let's have a look. Yeah, you got to be careful of these. You'd have got a 0.5 out of that. Yeah, you got to be careful. These, that would be classed as just picking a top, really. Randomly thinking that that scenario would drop, and it came down a little bit and then continued higher. Rather than picking these areas, you're better off waiting for a lower high to confirm we are indeed moving down, and ideally finishing below there. Otherwise, a lot of the cases you can do that. Fortunately, you'd have got a 0.5, but then it excuse me, then it hightailed. But the beauty of it is, because it's over quite a period of time, you can sort of give this a little micro adjust, and it doesn't really make a lot of difference on anywhere else. So touches, so that's fine, and the bottom fits really nicely. Touch. It actually fits really nice, that does. So fingers crossed. This is where the market stumbles and starts to work down. That's a good sign. It's clearly struggling a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't push any higher. But what I will say is, if you look on the 10,000 tick chart, it does look like a single channel. If you look at this before it came down, we had a leg, a little bit of sideways and a leg, and then we came down. But here, for me, it just looks like one single channel. So whether that's going to make a difference or not, I don't know. I suppose you could divide it. Maybe the one there, a little bit of sideways. So, no, actually, now I zoom in, you could say push up, a little bit of sideways and push up. Okay. Still looking for shorts. And being careful you also don't get trapped. I don't think this is a channel working there. It's, if it is, there's an overshoot. I don't know where you went. Assuming you went here, did you? I prefer confirmation, really, just in case. Yeah, lower my thoughts, but in a lot of cases it may just come back to the MA and continue higher. But based on what I can see there, I think downwards. I mean, we had this little channel here, we had a break, we made two pushes up to a new high. We've got a little bit of sideways, clearly struggling there, so pushing down. So maybe a lower high, but in some cases, you know, if enough traders are thinking we're coming down. A lot of the times it doesn't even give you that option. It just drops. And that's the frustrating bit, really. And I've got a feeling that's what it's going to do. Just keep coming down in a short-term trend channel without giving us an entry. Come on, give us a setup. ATR's high again, so the average risk with a tick below is 3 points. It's quite large risk. No, there's no real setup there. You're just sort of picking a top. I mean, granted, you're picking what looks like this area, but it's still extra risky because it could trigger you and push out. That's what I would consider picking a top. And it can go either way. And a lot of cases, the algorithms, in some cases, they'll trigger that, stop it out, and then continue down. That's so frustrating. You pretty much... I've got a fair idea, we know where it's going, but look, it just doesn't give us an entry. It just comes down nice and strong, and it is frustrating. So really, a couple of pushes up, then a lower high. But that's the trouble lately. A lot of the time, it just doesn't do it. I don't know how much the algorithms play a part. My setup went back. Yeah, it's just so frustrating when you see this. You pretty much know where it's going to go, but there's no entry. I mean, even if that had triggered above there, I may have been inclined to go short there. Trouble is, yeah, it's a 4.25 point risk with a tick above, a tick below. It's just, and the trouble is, whenever you get into these trades and it's not a good setup, so many times it'll just stop you out, and then you're asking yourself the rest of the day, why the hell did I do it? I ended up losing 4 points because I took a poor trade, and that's where the patience really comes into it. And it is hard to muster that patience. I think the more time you trade, the longer you've been doing it, I think the better you get at it. It's like any type of job. Anything where there's real skill involved, it just takes time just to keep working on it and improving it. Another thing that slightly concerns me is there is a little bit of congestion, a little bit of support around there as well. You can see it, can't you? So hopefully if we can bounce up here a couple of legs, then I may be interested, but I'd like to be out by that area there. Okay, let's have a look. So we're getting these legs, aren't we? Then we're having a break and we're coming down. We're getting these legs, then we're having a break and coming down. So if we can get this leg and have a break and come down, we're looking for a second entry short really off here. But there is a little bit of support around there. So we may get this break now and hopefully a second entry. Be nice to get a trade today. Ideally, I want to try and take a trade for about the next 6 or 7 days because I want a payment. I want to hit my 10 days. I want to try and get a payment this month. Again, I had $2,000 which went in a couple of days ago, I think. But I'd like to get another one. Fingers crossed. Yeah, that's the frustrating thing sometimes. It just doesn't even get back nowhere near the EMA before it starts to drop again. Oh. In fact, I'll consider that as one single channel. I got no arguments with that. I'm not saying there's two legs, but it fits. It still fits there nice. Trouble is, you see this, and at some point you go, oh, bugger it, I'm buying, I'm selling. And when I get in on this, and what happens? It triggers you, and then goes like that, stops you out, and then comes down. I've looked at these so many times, and you see them going and going and going and going, and it almost eggs you on to go short, go short, go short, and you go, okay, I'll go short. And then that happens. It goes like that. So looking at the 10,000 tick chart, it did what we predicted. There did seem to be a bit of a lag, and now you're expecting a lower high. What happens? Just drops. It's so frustrating. No entry, just drops. I do hope things change, otherwise we're going to have to try and adapt, and then maybe take riskier trades like that. Now look at that, straight down. Look, what did it go down to? 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 points like that. In a matter of what, 5 minutes? 6 minutes, 7 minutes? The wick below that one there. The trouble is, mate, it's just too far from the EMA, that is. It's too far, because a lot of the times you'll jump in there and it'll trigger you and go up to the EMA, stop you out and come down. It does it so many times. I mean, if you're taking shorts in a channel like this, you really need to do them. Ideally, maybe that one, if it dropped above it, you really need to do it early. Because whether you get a leg and a leg, but so many times I've done that, and you jump in and it almost comes back a little bit and then drops again. People get in and it comes up and stops you out. I've done it so many times. And I just, experienced traders will tell you, you just have to wait for high quality setups. Otherwise it doesn't work. You'll get away with it sometimes, but overall it'll affect and that one, it's just too risky. It's way too far away. If it was a slightly wider and there was a second entry, but it was away from the EMA, it wouldn't be that bad. But you have to do it. It just doesn't work. Otherwise, you'll get away with it once in a while. But it'll hurt you way more than it won't. And, I like your patience. It's taken time, mate. You ask people who've been on my stream for the last sort of 7 or 8 months. So many times I've seen this market going and I've just jumped in it randomly, and but I don't know, lots of failures and lots of blown accounts. You get that sick to death of failing and blowing stuff up that it just forces you to change, and you start to take your time and you start to wait patiently, and then you start to get a sniff of success and you start to get some payments, and that reinforces that thought or theory, whatever you want to call it, that the only way that you're going to make money in this business is if you sit and wait for top quality setups and nothing else. And if it means you only get 3 or 4 setups in a week, then so be it. But much better to get 3 or 4 winning setups than 5 or 6 trades where 30% of them will lose. You only end up being the same in the end. Okay, so now this is our low of the day, which we've just broken. So there is a possibility of a second entry short, but there is a possibility it could push up. Now, what I will say is the market is moving really nice within this area. So if we can get a good quality setup, we're definitely coming down. Then I'll be inclined to take it. But it's going to have to be a good one. Yeah, I don't know how many times I say, okay, we've got a bull flag here, we push up a little bit sideways. But the times I've got into these trades before, for some reason, you just get... It's almost like the market knows when you get in. And all these algorithms or programs that run the system have been so finely tuned to look for weak points, weak entries that inexperienced traders take, and when it jumps in, it just walks all over you. And it really does. The only way, you've just got to wait for the setups that literally jump in front of you and start waving. We all know the ones, you know, those ones that you can't literally get your order in quick enough. And in a lot of cases, they're that good, I'll just buy the bloody things or sell them, whatever, rather than, you know, sometimes. And not only that, sometimes when they do trigger, they move that blooming quick, you end up missing them. But yeah, to say it's going down isn't a good enough excuse to get into a trade. You have to wait for a set. That's if you trade the style we trade, or most of us. Mac system, Pats, whatever you want to call it. And Mac, as Yillian Mac said many times, you have to wait for good setups. Other market will walk all over you. And there's nothing worse than taking a setup that you know, that little voice in your head is saying, oh, I shouldn't be taking this. You take it, what happens? You get pissed off. You feel physically sick, and what does that do? Makes you go on tilt. Whereas if you sit patiently and wait for what you genuinely believe to be a good trade, those that fail, I value those because they're a lesson for me. That's something I'm missing or I need to still learn, because you're forever learning. And sometimes, you know, most of the trades I do now, I would say 98 out of 100, I'll be able to look back on and go, yeah, it didn't work because of this. And it's not often I post a trade now that I genuinely don't know why it hasn't worked, because there's always a reason. So if you wait for those setups and those setups only, you'll have a great career as a trader. Unfortunately, it's times like this where things are slow, where you can get caught out your patience a bit. Okay, this looks like a bottoming pattern to me. Or is it? Maybe not. Leg down. Maybe 2 attempts to go high before we go down. You've got to be careful because we've broken the lows here. So we could make an attempt to push up. Yeah, patience. I suppose some people naturally got more patience than others. I can be a bit pig-headed sometimes and a bit stubborn. You know, I'm my own worst critic. A lot of the times I can do stupid things. But I like to think that with time and just blowing lots of accounts and making stupid mistakes, you just get that fed up. You've had enough of it, and it just makes you... Every time I blew that account a couple of nights ago, I felt physically sick after, and I swore to myself that is the last time I'm feeling like that. And you can actually absolutely 100% eliminate that horrible feeling you get by simply trading what you believe to be a good trade. If you believe it to be a good trade and it fails, you've still done your job. It just means you might be lacking a bit of experience, or you've got a new lesson to learn. But if you stick to those rules and follow the trade that you believe, there's no reason you should ever have that horrible, sickening feeling again from doing something stupid. And I've had enough of that feeling. I don't want it anymore. I'm sick to the back teeth of it. Okay, so leg down, 2 attempts to go higher. Got to be careful here. It is a second entry short, but we've broken these lows, and you just got to be a bit cautious here, because we could come down, we could push up. It is possible we could have a break at this channel. But I don't fancy a short here for some reason. Gotta be careful with these again. And if you do make a mistake, you don't want to make it on a 16 tick bar, that's for certain. Tick above, tick below. That's nearly $500 down the drain. Okay, folks, I'm going to knock it on the head today. We've been going nearly 3 hours, 50 minutes. Clearly one of those days today. There's nothing that's really jumped out at me. You know, I had ideas. We were going to have that leg, a little bit of a bull flag, and it did what we thought. But trouble is, knowing what's likely to happen and having a setup for it are two different things. So it just makes things extra risky. So, sometimes it happens. Sometimes we get those days where nothing just appears, but better to take nothing than to take a poor trade and end up well, in this case, more than likely $300 or 3 points down per account. It's just not worth it. You just have to sit patiently, and if nothing comes, then nothing comes. That's your job, really. Your job's to take trades, good setups, and that's it. The money is sort of just a byproduct, really. But It happens. It's one of those things. So tomorrow is it Friday tomorrow already? Grief, Friday already tomorrow. So hopefully we get a better day. So if you're carrying on trading, good luck. I hope the setup comes. I think if you sit here long enough in the day, you'll get something. But I'm going to go and have my dinner and relax a little bit. It's quite warm in the UK today, so I'm going to enjoy the weather while it lasts. So have a great evening or afternoon, wherever you are. Stay safe. Fingers crossed for you. Hopefully you'll get a trade. Apart from that, have a great evening. Stay safe as always, and I'll be back here again same time tomorrow, and hopefully we'll get something tomorrow anyway. So take it easy, folks.